For this art activity for Literacy Fun Day, you will need to go and collect a couple of bags of different sized leaves. So you can see here I've organized mine into different little Ziploc bags that they're different sizes. These are all found from different native trees, and that's why I've collected them and put them into separate little bags. You will also need the image of the kookaburra either printed or a trace of it from your device covered by a piece of paper and traced over. So you will need the outline in some form, and you'll need some glue. I would recommend that you grab some PVA glue, but if you don't have PVA glue, you can try this, okay? It might just be a little bit of perseverance. If that doesn't work, we can try something else, okay? So persevere to see what works for you, what you have at your home. The other thing that you will need to collect are some sticks for the branch part here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you that a little bit later. Okay, you can see so far I've done the tail, and I have tried to overlap as best as I can so that I can't see any of the printed piece, and I've stopped where the branch is. So you can see that these are layered on top of each other. After a little bit, I might put a book over the top of them to weigh them down so that it does glue, but I'm going to continue on. I'm going to do this little part of the wing and then do the body and then the wing last. So I'm going to leave the wing till this top part of the wing till last, so it kind of will be the top part of the layering. And I'm going to try and find really little pieces of the leaves so that I can do the feathering around the head of the kookaburra. I'm not going to do the beak yet because I'm not going to use leaves for the beak, but I'm going to use the leaves just for the feather part. Remember to overlap, so put one on top of the other so you can see how it's going to look like feathers overlapping each other. If you notice some of the leaves are curly like this one here, you will put a book over it a bit later to try and press it down, making sure the glue sticks nicely. So the next part I'm going to do is the body and the feathered head. So I'm going to start from just above the feet and I'm going to work my way up. Once I get to the top, I'm then going to do the wing and make that the top layer of the leaves. All right, now you can see that I have filled the leaves section of my kookaburra with all of its feathers. I've tried to use a range of different leaves depending on the size of the part of the kookaburra, as well as thinking about what that bird's feathers would look like. So the wings are a little bit longer than the body part of the kookaburra's feathers, so I have added long leaves to the wings. Same with the tail, they're longer than the head of the kookaburra's feathers. Now what I'll need to do is I'll probably put a book on this to make sure that the leaves stick down, and that way I can come back to it with less sticky hands. So you might need to go wash your hands at this point. You might have glue all over them. So you need to wait a few minutes and then we'll come back and we will do the branch, the feet, the beak and the eye. Alright, so here's my leaves that have been pushed down by a book, and you can see that they are a lot flatter than they were before. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be thinking about what we could use for the beak, or what we could use for the eyes, and what we could use for the branches and the feet. So because the branch is quite a thick branch and my glue would not hold that, you may need some PVA glue or something a bit stronger to be able to hold that down. My thought is that I'm going to layer little bits of twigs along the branch section so that they form a branch looking shape. Now I'm going to fiddle around with where I want them and then I'm going to glue them down. I found some gum nuts, I guess, some seeds that they look like this, and they kind of look like a mouth. So I pulled one off and I might use that as my mouth. Yes, it doesn't go the whole way, but if I was wanting to, I could cut that out and then it would be finished. If I want, I could maybe use some sticks or something a bit different to give it a different shape. I also found some of these, and you can see that these are like a little native seed, and I found these and they kind of look like eyes. So I pulled off some to see if one of them was going to be big enough for my eye, and I think I'll use that. Now for the feet, I also was having a look in my garden, and there's some like thin pieces here and they kind of look like a claw. So I might be taking them off and putting them on as my final piece, so it makes it look like they're holding on to the branch that I need to stick down. So once you have finished, you should have a layered effect with the leaves for the feathers of the kookaburra. You should have some sort of native thing for the eye, which you might have found. Something for the beak, which obviously doesn't have to be the same thing. It could be anything. You might want to use 2 bits of twigs or 2 bits of a thicker material where you might need to break it off and be able to mold it into, or kind of change it into that shape. And then you will need some sort of things for the feet and something for the branch. Now, I have a bit of gluing to do, and then once I'm finished, I might cut out my shape, especially because I now have a beak that's not as big as what the printing looks like. So I might cut around that, or I might find something that's going to fit a bit better. These are just some ideas. I will show you my finished copy at the end, and that way you can have a go at doing something that's going to work for you, making it look like your personal best. Well, you have access to it at your home, and you'll be able to create another creation that's going to be unique to you. Looking forward to seeing what you create.